Howard Schultz was 7 years old when he saw something that changed his life forever. His father came home from work and collapsed on the couch. His ankle was broken. He had slipped on ice while driving a delivery truck. The company fired him immediately. No severance pay, no health insurance, no compassion. Howard watched his mother cry. He watched his father sink into depression. They had no money, no savings, no way to pay the rent. The family lived in a housing project in Brooklyn. They barely had enough to eat on good days. Now they had nothing. Howard made a promise to himself that day. If he ever had power, he would never treat people the way his father was treated. Howard was born in 1953 in Brooklyn, New York. His family was desperately poor. They lived in a tiny apartment in the Canarsie projects. 7 families shared one floor. The walls were thin. Howard could hear his neighbors fighting. He could smell their dinners cooking. There was no privacy, no dignity. His father worked blue-collar jobs his whole life. Truck driver, factory worker, diaper delivery man. He never made enough money. He never got ahead. Howard watched his father come home exhausted every night. He watched hope drain from his eyes year after year. School was Howard's escape. He was a good student. He played football. He was the first person in his family to go to college. He got a football scholarship to Northern Michigan University. It was a small school in a cold place, but it was his ticket out of Brooklyn. Howard studied hard. He graduated in 1975 with a degree in communications. Then he moved back to New York to find work. Howard took a job as a salesman for Xerox. He was good at it. He could talk to people. He could sell. Then he moved to a Swedish company that made housewares. He became their vice president of sales. He was making good money. He had an apartment in Manhattan. He was living the life his father never could. But something felt empty. Howard was successful, but he was not fulfilled. In 1981, Howard noticed something strange. A small coffee shop in Seattle kept ordering large amounts of coffee makers from his company, more than any other store. Howard was curious. He flew to Seattle to see this shop for himself. It was called Starbucks. It was a tiny store that sold coffee beans and equipment. Nothing fancy. But when Howard walked in, something clicked. The smell of fresh coffee, the warmth of the space, the passion of the owners. Howard fell in love with it instantly. The owners of Starbucks were not interested in expanding. They just wanted to sell quality coffee beans. But Howard had a bigger vision. He had recently traveled to Italy. He had seen the coffee culture there, the espresso bars on every corner, the way people gathered to talk and connect over coffee. He wanted to bring that to America. He wanted Starbucks to become more than a store. He wanted it to become a gathering place, a community. Howard begged the Starbucks owners to let him work for them. They said no. He kept asking. They finally agreed. Howard moved his family to Seattle. He took a massive pay cut. His friends thought he was crazy. He was giving up a vice president position in New York to work at a small coffee shop in Seattle. But Howard believed in the vision. For a year, Howard tried to convince the owners to open espresso bars. They refused. They wanted to stay small. So Howard made a difficult decision. He left Starbucks to start his own coffee bar company. He called it Il Giornale. He needed investors. He pitched his idea to 242 people. 217 of them said no. They laughed at him. They said Americans would never pay premium prices for coffee. They said his idea was ridiculous. But Howard kept going. He finally raised enough money to open his first store in 1986. Il Giornale was successful. People loved it. Then in 1987, something unexpected happened. The original Starbucks owners decided to sell. Howard saw his chance. He raised $3.8 million and bought Starbucks. He merged it with Il Giornale. Now he could build the company he had always dreamed of. But Howard did not just want to sell coffee. He wanted to build a company that treated people with dignity. He remembered his father. He remembered watching a broken man with no health insurance and no hope. So Howard did something radical. He gave health insurance to all Starbucks employees, even part-time workers, even people who worked just 20 hours a week. No other company did this. Investors thought he was insane. They said it would bankrupt him. But Howard did not care. He believed treating people well was not just moral. It was good business. Howard also gave employees stock options. He called them partners, not employees. He wanted them to feel ownership. He wanted them to have dignity. This was personal for Howard. Every policy he created was designed to prevent what happened to his father from happening to anyone else. Starbucks grew rapidly. One store became 10. 10 became 100. 100 became 1,000. Howard took the company public in 1992. The stock price soared. Starbucks became a global phenomenon. Today there are over 35,000 Starbucks stores in more than 80 countries. The company is worth over $100 billion. Howard Schultz became a billionaire. The kid from the Brooklyn projects built one of the most successful companies in the world. But Howard never forgot where he came from. He created programs to help employees pay for college. He hired veterans and refugees. He used Starbucks as a platform for social change. He proved that you could build a massive business while treating people with respect and dignity. Howard once said something that defined his philosophy. We are not in the coffee business serving people. We are in the people business serving coffee. That one sentence explains everything. Howard built Starbucks on the belief that people matter more than profits, that dignity matters more than the bottom line. Your past does not have to define your future. Howard grew up watching his father suffer in a system that did not care about him. He could have become bitter. He could have just made money and forgotten about the struggle. Instead, he used his pain to create something beautiful. He built a company that gives people dignity. What pain are you carrying? What injustice did you witness? Do not let it make you hard. Let it make you compassionate. Let it drive you to build something better. Let it fuel your purpose. If this story touched you, please like the video and subscribe to Story Studio 91. Share this with someone who needs to know that success and compassion can coexist. Remind them that the greatest companies are built on the greatest values.